Have you ever wondered what the desire to do evil can do to a person? In this episode, we delve into a chilling story of a man with sinister motives. Driven by a twisted sense of pleasure, he takes delight in eliminating individuals he deems troublesome, and while an audience of onlookers eagerly witnesses his acts. Currently confined within the walls of a state penitentiary, we find our protagonist, Charlie Ledbetter, deep in contemplation as the hour of midnight draws nearer. Unbeknownst to him, his former boss, Joe Saylor, becomes entangled in the web of his malevolent plans. It all began when Charlie, fueled by the influence of a half pint of vodka he had consumed during lunch, became consumed with the thought of revenge and being denied a raise. With a deep-seated resentment for his superiors, Charlie takes matter into his own hands, armed with a cold blue 44 caliber gun hidden within the glove compartment of his car. Next in the episode, it is told that people have the wildest stories about electrocutions. They say you convulse like a rabid dog. Charlie took someone's life, and now he's going to face the consequences, the electric chair. They have just received word from the governor. They say the electric current is so swift that the brain gets cooked instantly when the switches are flipped. Our next character is named Talbot, and he has been the executioner in this state for the past 12 years. He started off as an electrician and eventually landed a job at the prison, where he is now in charge of the generators. Meanwhile, the legislature is in the midst of a pivotal decision regarding the death penalty. Charles Ledbetter's recent executions hands over the proceedings, with opponents of the bill arguing that the death penalty is a necessary deterrent against violent crime, fearing that its abolition might lead to increased criminal activity and overcrowded prisons. The religious dimensions is also brought into focus, with some believing that execution equates to murder in the eyes of God. The tone shifts when the narrator offers condolences to Niles, who appears to have been personally affected by the executions. Despite Niles' apparent helplessness in the matter, the reporter's offer of a letter of recommendation suggests a glimmer of hope for Niles to regain his previous job. This narrative paints a complex picture of a society grappling with the ethical and practical aspects of the death penalty, while also displaying moments of empathy and support among its citizens. Observing from the outside, the episode empathizes the importance of friendship and the role of bars in providing a space for people to unwind and share their thoughts. There is a palpable sense of camaraderie as the narrator buys a drink for Mr. Talbot, who appears to have been mistreated by politicians after years of dedicated service. For an individual, having a friend to confide in during tough times is considered crucial. Bars, in this context, serves as places to unwind, enjoy a beverage, contemplate one's challenges, and engage in light-hearted conversations. Suddenly, the difficulties that initially seems unsurmountable start to appear less daunting. While the majority of discussions in barrooms tend to revolve around sports such as baseball, football, or boxing, this person's experience stands out as unique. Others often shy away from discussing their distinctive occupation, possibly due to its uncommon nature. In this particular situation, the person decides to extend a gesture of goodwill by purchasing a drink for Mr. Talbot. They express their deep dissatisfaction with the situation, considering it highly unjust. The actions of the politicians who failed to acknowledge Mr. Talbot's many years of dedicated service and treated him as though he were insignificant leave the observers in disbelief. The sign of a wasted talent is indeed regrettable. It's a significant loss. Vic, the narrator's close friend, receives appreciation for his support. They propose the installation of small televisions in all prison cells, creating a closed-circuit system. This way, incarcerated individuals could witness executions, considering it an educational opportunity. Commentators argue that if televised executions were permitted, it might repulse people to dissuade support for the death penalty. However, the narrators challenges the opinion of these television pundits. asserting that the televised executions could potentially become an immensely popular and highly rated show. They believed that viewership would skyrocket, and other networks might even resort to similar practices to compete for ratings. The narrator playfully suggests the idea of personalities like Geraldo Rivera participating in the process. In their view, this entertainment industry mirrors a predatory food chain where audiences consume content that, in turn, consumes them. The narrator laments losing his job, believing it was due to others' fears of their fascination with death. They argue that death is an omnipresent force in life, affecting everyone, akin to a disease that permits our existence, much like the individuals struggling with addiction. A simple clerical error appears to have led to the release of the man in question. The narrator holds no particular grudge against bikers, having been a proud owner of a stoner motorcycle themselves in the past. They see themselves as genuine representatives of the values upon which the nation was originally founded before it became entangled in the influence of urban lawyers, technologies, corporations, and strict schedules. While the narrator may not necessarily endorse all the beliefs held by bikers, they do find fault with Jimmy Flood's actions, believing that he crosses a certain moral boundary. Accountability for his actions is deemed necessary. The tragic accident resulting in the alleged murderer, Jimmy Flood's death, is believed to have been caused by a short circuit. Flood had often been depicted in the media as a motorcycle enthusiast with a rebellious lifestyle. While many individuals remain convinced of his guilt, there is a concern that he was deeply involved in such activities. His character is compared to the shady figures commonly seen as extras on television. The narrator alludes to the American Civil Liberties Union, suggesting that they frequently argue that only minorities are unfairly targeted. They find it intriguing how a clearer perspective emerges when examining the available evidence. The episode ends with a call for the defendants to stand up, implying a legal proceeding of courtroom scenario. The jury foreman has delivered the verdict in the case involving Cynthia Bolden and Theodore Carney, who faced first-degree murder charges. Both defendants have been acquitted and are now free from all accusations, allowing them to return to their private lives. The court proceedings have concluded. It appears that Theodore Carney ended his marriage to be with a younger woman, likely due to his wife's control over their wealth. He seems to think that divorce wouldn't suffice, leading to the speculations about his motives. The narrator expresses a desire to witness how the situation unfolds for Carney, indicating that if he's going to make such decision, he should ensure it's worth the consequences. The narrator suggests that this might be a superficial affair, emphasizing the fleeting nature of physical attractiveness and the idea that looks alone do not endure. They mention having $200 in their wallet, potentially hinting at an offer of suggestion related to the situation. There is some money in the purse. Please take it, but do not harm us. What is the motive behind this? What are your intentions? The narrator accuses both individuals of being responsible for the murder of Mr. Carney's former wife, raising questions about their motives and whether fear played a role. The narrator then announces a death sentence with immediate execution to follow. The narrator reflects on the absence of any issues with willing and implies that if there were any, they could have been resolved differently. They acknowledge the challenges faced in life. The tone shifts to a somewhat light-hearted comment, suggesting that discussion between individuals can be straightforward, akin to the saying "easy peasy Japanesey." The narrator discusses societal pressures related to success and relationships, implying that it's simpler to achieve material success than navigate matters of the heart. If you fall in love, they will kill you. They can't stand you anymore. They want to get rid of you and move on, but if they hang around, they cut off your power and control everything. Now let's talk about strategies for getting into someone's pants. There are no rules. Treat boys like kings and queens like, well, you know. No problem, they'll surrender themselves faster than you can say seduction. Look at those attractive individuals over there. And up there we have a pure perfection herself. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you desire. You may have fooled everyone else, but you didn't fool me. I wonder how you'll dance once I release 10,000 volts of electricity into your house. The situation takes a sudden turn when Talbot is apprehended and read his Miranda rights, signaling his arrest. There is an ironic twist in narratives as I reveal that Talbot, a staunch advocate of capital punishment, is now facing the reinstatement of death penalty by the state legislature. However, he won't be the one administering in this time. The narrator addresses Talbot, empathizing his complicity in the unfolding situation and the consequences of not objecting or stopping it. The narrative closes with a question, perhaps seeking confirmation or acknowledgement from Talbot. Let's finish this for today. Comments and likes are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a new collection of episode recaps. Thank you for your attention.